So here is my XJ-S 3.6 manual. I bought it earlier this year, and the third one of these that I've owned. It's a pretty low mileage example. Having done only 31,000 miles, I've put about 1,000 miles on it so far this year. And you can see it's pretty nice inside. Must be one of the lowest mileage examples that's not in a private collection, sort of semi-regularly used. And when I got it, it needed quite a lot of body work, so I've had that done. So now all the sills, looks a bit dirty, but it's rust free. All the sills and wheel arches and favourite rust spots in Jags are now pretty much sorted. And I'm taking this film just before I take it off the road for the winter. And it's now October, so I've owned it for about 10 months now. And I'm just about to embark upon a project to rebuild the rear suspension, definitely, maybe front suspension as well this winter, and do a few other little jobs. It's basically fairly tidy. There are a few little things that want doing. You can see these lights have perished, so they'll get done. I'm going to put its original registration number back on it as well, even though this was made by Marshall of Cambridge back in 1990. It's an 89 car, so it'll have an F registration when I get that sorted. It still sits on its, I think, original Pirelli tyres. The date code on these is, let's have a look so I can find it. I think these are 89, these ones, so it's in dire need of replacement. And the alloys are also a bit scabby, so I'll get them done whilst I'm doing the suspension. I've got a spare set of Jag wheels to use in the interim. As you can see, there's not really, I think these are new tyres, or new in the early 2000s. Still in need of replacement. They're far too old, so we'll get them done. As you can see, those wheels need a bit of attention too. Still got a 91 tax disc on, which is quite a nice touch. When I got it, it was completely original. I had the clock, so I fitted a trip computer because I just wanted that extra interest, and it's also been quite useful in giving me some fault codes. It's got an annoying problem whereby it keeps cutting out. It's either the airflow meter or the throttle position sensor. I've replaced the airflow meter, so I reckon it's probably the throttle position sensor. When I first got it, the front brakes didn't really work. Well, actually none of the brakes really worked. So I've put new calipers and pads and lines at the front to get it up to spec. I should be replacing that yellow fan as well, now it's off the road. So yeah, it's had a new MAF, which hasn't changed the problem. It made it run a bit better actually, but it hasn't fixed the problem I had. It's got the notorious Teves 3 brake system, which is a shame really. I would have preferred no ABS and a less complicated braking system. And I've got to get the air conditioning sorted out as well. I think this switch down here, first of all, which switches hot water and cold water into the heater matrix, well, hot water into the heater matrix, I think that's probably stuck through lack of use. So I don't need to replace that because it gets very hot in the cabin, no cold air at all. It's had a new clutch, or a complete new clutch hydraulics before I bought it. But it's pretty original under there otherwise. I had to buy and fit a new handbrake warning sticker that's fixed to the inside because they just dulled with age. Quite nice with the Marshall's dealer sticker on it. I think it's had a new headlining in its time. It's not quite perfect look across the top there, but I'll get that done perhaps this winter as well. And I need to sort out the piping on the driver's seat, a very, very common problem in these cars. And of course you can see it's a manual, which makes a big difference to the drivability. just come back from quite a long run, so it's nice and warm and ticking over very nicely. The small cat doesn't always like the big cat quite so much, especially when it's running. All the gauges seem to work quite nicely. Even has its original Jaguar cassette owner's guide, which is quite entertaining. And it has the optional driving lights as well, which I need to get covers for at some point in the future, just to finish it off. So that's a once round it. This is where it's going to live for the winter. Plenty of space there to get around it and do some work. Here are my spare wheels. I'll stick these ones on the front. I'll get the other ones off and get them refurbed. So there we go, that's it for now. That's the XJ-S. And I'm just about to go and declare it SORN, and I can then get on and get that independent rear suspension out and make a start.